Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 40th year of the Durham Community Concert Band in concert today here at the School of Science and Math. My name is Bill Austin. I'll be your MC for this program. Many of you, when you came in today, came through the front lobby and you found one of our colorful programs, and inside is the program order for today's concert. There is some information also on the table that I want you to be aware of, because we support the Durham Arts Council, and for many, many years we have played or rehearsed at their facility, and they're taking a very important survey. It's called an Arts and Economic Prosperity Survey. There are sheets on the table. They're they're printed on both sides, but there's also a QR code on the table if you'd like to do it electronically. Anyone that takes the time to answer this survey, all of your responses will be completely anonymous. But the Arts Council has asked that if you're able to do so when you depart today or on your own leisure, take time please and take one of those surveys and send it out. It will help Durham and the Arts Council with future funding in the arts in our community. During this concert, we will not have an intermission. We have 6 primary selections as you see in the program. One of the most important things about today's world of smart devices is we always want to know when someone's trying to find us or contact us. Please, for the next hour, silence your phone or your smart device while you're in the concert. We are guests on this campus, and we want to leave it the way we found it today. We're very fortunate to have such a fine facility for you to come and listen to us today. So pick up after yourselves when we leave, and we'll also leave the stage the way we found it. We're very fortunate that the musical ensembles that play and practice in this facility have allowed our percussion section to borrow a number of their professional quality percussion instruments. So we're very grateful for their ability to help us, because it takes a lot to bring in musical instruments for 7, 8, or 9 players at the back of the band. It's impossible where you're seating to see this. But according to our most illustrious counter of the band, who counts us every single week, we're looking at 121 today on the stage. In just a moment, we'll begin our program. I'd like to give you one tidbit of information so you're prepared for how we will start. Our opening selection is listed in your program. From 1911, the composition by Gustav Holst. It's titled The Second Suite in F, and parenthetically for military band. There are 4 distinct movements, so it's really 4 songs in one. The opening selection is called March. The second selection is Song Without Words, followed by the Song of the Blacksmith. And finally, the movement 4 is the Fantasia on the Dargazon. All of these are very old renditions of English folk songs titled Second Suite in F. At this time, as I depart, please welcome to the stage, with over 30 years of leading the Durham Community Concert Band, our conductor, Mr. Tom Shaffer. The Durham Community Concert Band first met not far from here at Brogden Junior High School with directors Vincent Simonetti. He's known very well in Durham because of the Tuba Museum and the Tuba Exchange, and one of our retired band directors from Durham, Randy Guptill. From Hillside High School, Clark Edgerton, who passed away in October of 20, led the band from 1986 to 1992. And if you do the math to 2023, you'll recognize that Tom has followed a very successful director, and he has remained with us for these 30 plus years. Many of the members, including Tom, have shared some bullet points of things that are significant in the history of this band. Rehearsals have been at various schools and churches in the Arts Council, and we currently meet over off of Old Chapel Hill Road at Westminster Presbyterian Church in their very large fellowship hall, which is much larger than the IBM room at the Arts Council. We have performed over 530 different compositions since we started keeping the records, especially with the help of David in our bassoon section. David Smith has been just a wonderful historian for the band, and we thank you for your time and effort over these years, David. There have been times when Duke University waved the flag and said, help. So we helped them during the winter break at home basketball games a time or two. Our board of directors and Tom, along with other directors, decided it was helpful to have youth members of our band to be able to be featured sometimes at a spring concert. So we developed a youth concerto contest, and participants have performed with us during these spring concerts in the past. We also annually provide assistance to one of our members who is going to further their music education at a summer music camp, typically at UNCG. This year, we're awarding that to Lexi Butler, who is in our flute section. People are hungry, and the Durham Crop Walk has been a very successful organization over the past number of years. It usually forms over on the Duke campus, and Tom found a way to plant the band there in front of the chapel, and for over 22 years we have been playing as people assemble to go out and walk for the hungry with the Durham Crop Walk. We also offer our services at times for people that are in need. So for many years, until COVID, we played a Veterans Day concert in the Veterans Hospital in the cafeteria for those that were present in the hospital. And also just down the street, there's an organization in Orange County called Residential Services, and we've been offering them a springtime concert when they have a very large outdoor facility for many assisted living people that can come to these things. And we're very proud to be able to give them a taste of live music at an outdoor event. In 2016, we created the Triangle Community Band Festival, inviting local community bands to join us each June at Durham Central Park. This year, our Community Band Festival will be on Saturday at 5 o'clock, the second Saturday in June, which is June the 10th. We received a very fine recognition, and we were allowed to take this band a few years ago and perform in Winston-Salem for the music educators of our state at the North Carolina Music Educators Conference. We have a couple of people that have served the band in a role that's one of the hardest tasks of all, that is managing a library of music that fills up a number of file cabinets. In fact, one of our librarians is sitting over here in the audience. Rick is here. Wave your hand at us, Rick. Rick Hines. And then up on stage is Brenda Arians. Brenda, wave at us. There we go. Way back there. Brenda, along with the other librarians for the community bands in the area, they have developed a joint area music library for music ensembles like our band and the community bands. It now has a list of music of over 5,000 titles. Granville County invited us to come up for a Tri-County Band Festival a few years ago. And you know what happened a few years ago that was very real for all of us? COVID stopped music. It stopped us from coming to places like this. But Tom would not give up. He said, we've got to put this band back into action. We've got to play our music. This is what makes us breathe and live. So we found a way to meet outdoors. We went to Central Park and played on some Thursday nights and just practiced out there under the shelter there where they have the farmer's market. One of our members who's not here today, Julia, she has a beautiful horse farm right off of Creedmoor Road near Raleigh. We went out and played on the pasture. Had a couple of outdoor rehearsals so we could play with lots of space around us. We also used for a while the Durham Armory so we could spread out on the floor and play indoors with heat, because Central Park was a little bit cold in the wintertime. And then we do have one concert coming up to say thank you for Westminster Presbyterian Church offering us space to rehearse. So our next concert in May will be on the afternoon of the 7th. I think it's going to be at 3 or 4, but we haven't locked the time down, have we, Tom? 3 o'clock? So Sunday, May 7th, outdoors at Westminster Presbyterian. Moving on. Our next selection, as you see in your program, is a composition by Rossano Galante. It's titled Resplendent Glory. It's written in a romantic, heroic style. This impressive overture features sweeping and lush melodies along with the brilliant brass fanfares and woodwind flourishes. The main theme of the work begins immediately with the trumpets, then pass to the woodwinds and horns. This flows into a B section where the trumpet melody is supported by horn triplets and woodwind runs. This section will sound very heroic. The B theme is then introduced by the trombones with woodwind supporting the rhythmic harmony. Next, the A theme returns with more activity and counterpoint, followed by the transition to the C section of the work. This section has a very lush melody stated by the woodwinds and horns. After a tutti restatement of this romantic theme, the main melody returns with full ensemble ending, with a big climax full of brass fanfares and woodwind flourishes. Those notes are from the composer, Rossano Galante, as we bring forward to you, Resplendent Glory. Our next selection, Gabriel's Oboe, was written by Ennio Morricone as the main theme of the 1986 motion picture, The Mission. The story is about a missionary who builds a mission in the South American wilderness in hopes of converting the natives there to Christianity. The mission was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Score and won the Golden Globe for the Best Original Score. In the film, the musical theme is most prominently used when Father Gabriel walks up to a waterfall and starts playing his oboe, aiming to befriend the natives with his music so he can carry on his missionary work in the New World. The Guarani tribesmen, who had been stalking him from a distance, approach Father Gabriel for the first time, puzzled by the sounds of this unknown instrument. For Gabriel's oboe, our soloist is Kara Newcomb. our next selection in your program, titled Of Our New Day Begun, composed in 2015 by Omar Thomas. You'll see a heading underneath the title which reads, To Honor the 9 Victims and Families of the June 17, 2015 terrorist attack on Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina, with this phrase, let us march on till victory is won. The composer, Omar Thomas, has these things to tell us about why this piece was composed. Of Our New Day Begun was written to honor 9 beautiful souls who lost their lives to a callous act of hatred and domestic terrorism on the evening of June 17, 2015. While worshiping in their beloved sanctuary, the historic Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church, affectionately referred to as Mother Emanuel, in Charleston, South Carolina. Omar Thomas's greatest challenge in creating this work was walking the line between reverence for the victims and their families and honoring his strong, bitter feelings towards both the perpetrator and the segments of our society that continue to create people like him. Omar realized that the most powerful musical expression that he could offer incorporated elements from both sides of that line, embracing his pain and anger while being moved by the displays of grace and forgiveness demonstrated by the families of the victims. Welcome, Tom, back to the stage as we play for you Of Our New Day Begun. Our next selection, you see the title, The Seal Lullaby, composed by Eric Whitaker in 2011. He is an American composer, conductor, and lecturer. He writes, a major film studio wanted to know if he might be interested in writing music for an animated feature in 2004, and he was incredibly excited and said yes. The creative executives with whom he met explained that the studio had always wanted to make an epic adventure, a classic animated film based on Kipling's The White Seal. The White Seal, it's a beautiful story. Classic Rudyard Kipling, dark and rich and not at all condescending to the kids. But best of all, Kipling begins his tale with the mother seal singing softly to her young pup. The opening poem in The White Seal is titled The Seal Lullaby. It begins with these words, "Oh, hush thee, my baby, the night is behind us." Here it continues. I was struck so deeply by those first beautiful words, and a simple, sweet song just came gushing out of me. I wrote it down as quickly as I could, had my wife record it while I accompanied her at the piano. The studio changed their mind. It did not choose to use my composition. So I sang it to my baby boy every night to get him to go to sleep, which worked about 50% of the nights. A few years later, at a request of an ensemble, The Seal Lullaby was commissioned as a choral piece. And then in 2011, Eric saw the need and transcribed The Seal Lullaby for concert band. Here is The Seal Lullaby. We are thrilled that you and your family members have joined us today. Many individuals help our band every week. Of the 121 on stage, some have been with us since the very first meeting in the beginning of the band in its early years. We continue each week to welcome a new member. Some of our youngest members have been at middle school age, and we still have people here playing that are past the age of 75. And I would say that all of these 121 are worthy of your applause today. Tom Shaffer is a very humble director. He hates questions from the band, though. He tells us frequently, "That's your question for the year, don't ask any more." But our band functions because we have volunteers who volunteer their time and efforts to support the needs of an ensemble of this size. So our board of directors, and if each of you will stand when I call your name, and we have our current president unable to be here today, and we'll offer a prayer for Patrick, who is dealing with a family illness for his 18-year-old daughter. But we do have the rest of our board members here. Michael Fath, Member of the Year, J. Boss. I'm Bill. Bill Cushing. Brenda Arians. Andrea Thatcher. David Ahern. Christy Brinkley. Kurt Hovington. There we go. John Barker. And our de facto member of the board, of course, is the director, Tom Shaffer.
Bill, I'd like to add to this just a minute. They try to give me credit, but we've had so many people, so many board members who have made this thing work. I'd like to, first of all the people in the band who have been on the board to please stand up and join the people that are on the board now. Anyone who's been on the board the last 40 years. All right? And we have people out here that have been with us, they're visiting us today, and they've been on the board. Can I have all the ex-band members that are here, please stand. We've got a few of them out there.
Yes, we do.
There we go. There we go. These people have made it work, not me. These people have made it work, and I love them all.
We're in a new age, the world of social media and smart devices. And one of the things that, believe it or not, makes a new person come to this band is our website. And Dave Ahern has spent a number of hours over the past few months. And this week, our new website went live. So check out durhamband.org when you have a moment. It'll give you the calendar for what we're doing. And we always like to tell you this. It doesn't cost anything to be a member of our band. Have you played a band instrument before, but it's been a year, 20 years, 50 years? You can still play that instrument. And you can join this band on a Thursday night at our rehearsals at 7:15 at the church at Westminster Presbyterian. So we welcome you if you would like to consider joining us on a future rehearsal or a future concert. It's come time for our final piece of music for this evening, this afternoon. And so we're going to end with a fanfare. You might think that's a little odd, but this is not just any fanfare. This piece of music has been commissioned for the Durham Community Concert Band and Tom Shaffer. You'll see the name of the composer, Ed Kiefer. He graduated from Wake Forest with honors in '76, received his Master's of Music Education from UNCG, served as the director of bands at East Davidson High School in Thomasville for 28 years, and as director of instrumental music at Pfeiffer University for 6 years. Mr. Kiefer is sought after as an adjudicator, a clinician, conductor for state and national concert marching and jazz events. Ed uses his experience as a middle and high school director to compose music that is playable and fun for the students and audiences alike. His publications have been performed worldwide and featured at the Midwest Clinic in Chicago. Some of his works are on several state music festival lists and are played regularly at festivals and conventions. We commissioned Mr. Kiefer to compose today's finale in honor of our 40th year. Ed Kiefer, would you please stand? After your life. So, our finale in honor of our 40th year, to end our concert, we have chosen to end with a brilliant flourish of woodwind, brass and percussion, playing Bull City Fanfare.
I got two short announcements. One, there's a box out in the lobby for you to fill out for a questionnaire. It's through the Arts Council. Please, please take time to fill it out, or take it home, fill it out, and send it to the Arts Council. A story behind this request. Okay, I'm good for stories. A small town up northeast, Littleton, applied for a grant through the Liddy Corporation, and they said, we will pick you if you get a certain amount of signatures, and they got them, and they said, we will give you $3,000 a year to put on free performances, but it has to be a matching grant. Littleton got signed signatures all over the place. This little town of Littleton, it's almost a heartbeat in North Carolina, and that's about it. But they sent their application, and with one letter from a person in the community, and he talked about the arts in his community that was needed, and they were chosen over thousands and thousands of applications. They were giving the only grant in North Carolina, and they were the smallest town in the United States to get that grant. And this corporation said, this is so neat, we're going to guarantee this for 10 years for you. And it's made the town historic in terms of arts, theater, concerts. We need to support our Arts Council so they can send our information to wherever they get their money to keep this town supported on the arts. So please help us on that. One last announcement. If you have a little spare change in your pocket, we don't charge and we don't pay as members, and it does cost us money. One of these numbers that we performed cost $400. And so if you could help out a little bit, we would really appreciate it. And we'll be humble to you for the next concert too. Thank you very much for coming.